We need to talk about women who stalk. Hi, my name is Dr. Natalie Jones, and I have worked with men and women in the criminal justice systems who have done a lot of heinous things to unsuspecting people. One of the topics I have been meaning to talk about, and you guys have been asking me to talk about, are women who stalk. And women who stalk are just as equally dangerous, if not more so, than men who stalk. Women do it for the long haul, and they often do it for years and years and years and years and years. And so let's break it down, because I think women will stalk their children, and women will stalk the men who they've been romantically involved with. Women will stalk other women. So let's break it down. And this may be way more than a 10-minute video, because there are so many different typologies, I think, or scenarios, I'll say that, of women who stalk. I think the one situation that a lot of women have become familiar with is women of their exes. So a woman who was involved with a man or woman, right, and they're no longer together, and now you get with this person, and now their ex is stalking you. Their ex is having their friends stalk you, and they're having discussions, and they want to know who you are. They may even be so emboldened to reach out to you and threaten you for hooking up with their man or their woman, and threaten you in a myriad of ways. But they stalk you. They compare themselves to you. What does she have that I don't have? Or this is who he's with. She looks homely now. That kind of stuff. So there could be any number of ways that can play out, and sometimes it can even become very volatile and dangerous, because that ex may look at their former partner or lover as a possession that they're not ready to let go of. And how dare you come into that? And I think a lot of people see this too with baby mamas and things like that they have, where baby mamas may feel a sense of entitlement, and they're not ready to move on or let go. Or, I still have access to him. I'm still having sex with him. Ha ha ha. Girl, you think you have a boyfriend, but really he's mine, and he's not going anywhere. He knows where home is at. That kind of toxic stuff, right? I think that's one scenario. There's also another scenario, especially when you have a narcissistic man who is now, who has a narcissistic wife or partner, and that partner is obsessed with you, right? So he's now moved on, right? And so now we're talking about the person that they're currently with. And I'm sure every woman on this app, right, has an ex that can't get you off their mind. You are a sore topic of discussion in someone's household, and you didn't do anything but just exist. Well, the woman who he's with now may have heard of you and decided to research you and look you up, is obsessed with you, may have paranoia that's attached to you, because anytime something goes awry in their relationship with their partner, they may be attributing that to you. As crazy as it sounds, and you could have been gone for days, months, years. You could have been gone and away from that relationship, but they're still attributing any sort of mishap to you, because you are a source of contention in that relationship. And so she's looking you up, she's copying you. So she may be doing her hair like you, she's getting her clothes done like you, she's trying to emulate you in any way, she's looking at your social media, she's trying to copy that, and she's basically morphing herself into you. And there's a lot of men who will go out there and get exes that look exactly like them. But there are actually men who will go out there and get, women that don't necessarily look like you, but then will be so obsessed with you. So this is a couple obsession, right? You'll be so obsessed with you that their new partner will morph into you. That new partner will also be consumed with trying to, if you guys have a child together, they will be consumed with trying to become your child's mother, or trying to help their partner get get your child away from you so that they have full custody. And so it's a whole persona where they become obsessed with you, knowing what you're doing night and day, looking for any opportunity to confront you and make a hostile situation, and in some cases even react violently and want to jump you and things of that nature, right? So I think that's a situation. There are women who, there are mothers who are nasty to their daughters, and very hateful and mean and disgusting and vile to their daughters, but they will stalk their daughters that they were Cruella de Vil to. They will stalk them to the ends of the earth, and they will become obsessed with them to no end. They're obsessed with getting the family involved and having the family stalk you. They want to know what you're doing, and they're also like obsessed with spewing the negativity about what you're doing, saying that you aren't bleep, and sort of having the family sort of help them run this smear campaign, help them target you all the time. So that's a way that women do stalking. There are women, and also I'll mention this, women who are obsessed with their exes, and these women could be married and have other, children, have another family, but they're obsessed with their old ex, or their baby daddy, right? Or their ex-husband. With women who are obsessed like that, they will use, one of the things that they will do is they will use their children to help them spy and stalk. So when children come back from custody visits, they're peppering their children with questions. They're demanding to know everything. Who all was over there? What did you do? How much money did he spend? What did that cost? And so it's an interrogation. They will use their kids and pump them full of questions, so that they can know everything. So instead of hiring someone, right, which they may ultimately do, they will use their children as like a go-between, as like their own personal spy. And their children may feel protective. If their children were to feel protective of that other parent or withhold some information, they become angry and abusive towards their children for withholding, and they become angry and resentful of that. I'll give you an example of another person that I think is a stalker. However, I think her character was very undeveloped. And that's Carrie Bradshaw from the show Sex and the City. Carrie Bradshaw was definitely, I think, a pathological stalker. However, I think her character was undeveloped because I think Carrie was obsessed with Big, and she was obsessed with any woman in his life, his mother, any girlfriend that he had in his life. But Big's, the type of woman that Big was attracted to was Charlotte. And I think if they had developed the character truly and more authentically, Carrie probably would have been more obsessed with making herself look like Big's prototype woman, his most desirable woman that he wanted to marry. So she probably would have emulated a lot of Charlotte's characteristics and things of that nature. And women like her don't typically get married by men like Big. Carrie had a look. It wasn't very cleanly or put together. She was kind of dingy, but she wasn't a socialite. So she's the kind of person that, and no offense to anybody out there who are Carrie Bradshaw fans, but she wasn't anyone that he would take to like any of his high-powered executive meetings. That's not how it plays out in real life. So she's an example of like big. She couldn't let go. She couldn't move on, even though she had other boyfriends and all this. She was always obsessed with him. And so she's a good example of a woman who is a stalker and is pathological. And she also she also escalated, although I don't think they played it out to its full capacity, because she actually hurt his wife Natasha. And a stalker typically in her situation would have escalated far beyond that, and would have never stopped stalking people like Natasha. So these are some examples of women stalkers that tend to escalate. There are so many more examples, but I hope that helps at least get the conversation going.